Hello again, everybody. Nxt Tech is here with my NXT Takeover Dallas review for Friday, April the 1st, 2016, taking place from the Bayley Hutchinson Convention Center in Dallas, which is also the home of Access. Well, it's no April Fool's joke, ladies and gentlemen. If I was Triple H and Roman Reigns, or anybody else wrestling on the card of WrestleMania, besides maybe Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha, they probably should be shaking in their boots. Because NXT TakeOver fucking stole WrestleMania weekend, ladies and gentlemen. This TakeOver was already hyped to hell. And guess what? This TakeOver lived up to all the hype and expectations it was given. This might be one of the greatest takeovers of all time. With big title changes, an instant 5-star classic, which, as you see from the description, one match got that ranking. This is only the second match I've ever given a 5-star rating on my reviews. And also, we may have seen two of NXT's brightest stars wrestle in what could be the very last matches in NXT. And the main event gives you reason to hate TVPG. Great main event spoiled by the TVPG bullshit, which I'll get to. Spider's a little nitpicking there. Like I said, epic takeover tonight. There was no boring match on the card. I'm glad that Apollo Crews and Elias Sampson was not taped. It was rumored to be on the takeover card, but it was moved to a taping, for the regular 1-hour taping. I'm actually glad, because that match did not belong in this card. 5 matches delivered. There was no boring match on the card. 8.0 for this takeover. Probably one of my highest rankings for a pay-per-view ever, and I don't think WrestleMania is going to top it. I don't think so. It was a fun, exciting, especially one match, thrilling takeover. We kick things off with the NXT Tag Team Championship match with American Alpha challenging the Revival. That is, of course, Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. Now, first thing before the match, the crowd was awesome tonight. The crowd was excellent, especially during that one match. And they were great from the get-go, especially this match. When this match was signed, I was so excited because I went to an NXT house show in Detroit. And these two fought on that card. And it was also for the Tag Team Championship. And these two teams put on a great match. Very fun match. And I was hoping that match in Dallas would deliver as much as it did in Detroit. It did. If there was a match that could steal the show besides an obvious 5-star classic, this would be like the second best match of the night. This was like a fun tag team affair. It was as good as the one in Detroit. Great action, great grappling. Jordan and Gable, what can I say? They're over as hell, especially with an mostly international crowd, because a lot of people from other countries traveled to WrestleMania. A lot of chants doing it, especially for Gable. The London people doing the Gable. Jordan, they did doing the NXT shows in London and all over Europe, which they're coming back in the summertime doing Download in Donington. That's cool. And there was also a funny chat for Dash and Wilder. Which one's Dawson? Which one's Dash? Which one's Dawson? Which one's Dash? Well, for clarification, Scott Dawson's the bald one, and Dash Wilder's the one with hair. And yeah, they didn't work on trying to get the fans to hate them, but they're a great tag team. Great double team spots for both teams. And I love Dash Wilder in this match. He was very sneaky around, even at one point coming underneath the ring and pulling Jason Jordan out of the ring before Gable would tag him in. There was one little thing with the match that almost spoiled it. And that was a botch midway towards the match. As during that one spot when Wilder went under the ring and tripped up Jordan before he got a tag into Gable. From Gable, should I say. They would do a double team off the top rope onto Gable, and they kind of botched that move badly off the top, that double team. And you heard the "you fucked up" chants and Botchamania. But the rest of the match went well. That one botch didn't ruin the match. They went very quickly, and you kind of forgot about that botch very quickly as the match went on. And the hot tag to Jordan, it was a great action-packed match like it was in Detroit. So I knew these two were going to deliver, and they did. In a very fun match. Great spots. Jordan and Gable on fire. They looked awesome. So did Dawson and Wilder. You know, they're trying to get some heat on them, trying to play the heels more, trying to get the fans to hate them a little bit more. But they're just great technical wrestlers. You know, they can kind of hide behind the wrestling style. You know, no flips, just fists. They got a new T-shirt they're wearing. And they were just vicious with the double team, especially with the referee distracting. But then Jordan got in, House of Fire, hot tag, strapped it down. The crowd was going nuts. And I was like, if Gable and Jordan don't win, the crowd is going to shit all over this card if they lose. Because it was so over. And then, like I said, Jordan gets some big moves in, some big suplexes. And big uppercuts, big moves from Dawson. Another great spot was when he was going for a big move and he got uppercut by Wilder from the outside when he was wrestling Dawson on the inside. And after the uppercut, Gable broke the count. He broke the count before Wilder's partner Dawson would pin him. And then Dawson and Wilder were going for their finish. But then Jordan reversed it to a pin before trying to do the finish. But then Gable and Jordan came in. And it was a little bit of a pin exchange with Dawson and Gable were going for like many pin attempts to near falls, a lot of near falls in that sequence. And then the blind tag to Jason Jordan. And Dawson didn't see that blind tag from Jordan. He came out of nowhere with a big spear. They nailed the double team finish. They nailed the finish. And 1, 2, 3. Gable blocked Dawson's partner Wilder for breaking the count. We have new NXT Tag Team Champions. I'm glad it was a clean ending this time. Because in Detroit, they did a double team finish. But just as they were pinning, Wilder pulled the referee, causing disqualification. But this time, Jordan blocked Wilder from breaking the count before the referee dropped the arm for 3. Now I'm glad American Alpha Tag Team Champions. Even if they never gave Enzo and Cass the championship, that's kind of a bad thing. Enzo and Cass will probably debut on Monday. But they were so over and they never won the NXT Championship. You know, they never won a Tag Team Championship. But American Alpha is so over right now, they could not lose this match. And guess what? They did not lose this match. They're your new NXT Tag Team Champions. Love Dash and Dawson. They looked awesome in this match. Need a little heat on them, but still, great athletic matchup. 4.2 for this great matchup, as I knew it would deliver, despite the botch. But the botch, like I said, never really ruined the match. You know, there was some few fucked up chances, but it didn't take away from the match. The match was great. Like I knew it was going to be. You know, great opener. Great fun opener. Got the crowd into it, especially with Gable and Jordan becoming your new NXT Tag Team Champions. I think they'll do an awesome job as Tag Team Champions. We'll probably see Dawson and Wilder get a rematch, and then probably a feud with more people. I could see Alpha and American Alpha maybe feuding against Vaudevillains. You know, they need some more good heel tag teams to come in. The feud against American Alpha now. So happy for them. We had the night of debuts tonight. We also had people in the crowd tonight. 2 big free agents. We had Kota Ibushi from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Of course, there to cheer on his fellow NJPW former wrestler from New Japan, Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, Ibota, I think his contract is up in New Japan. A lot of moves about him signing with NXT. So I'd love to see him in NXT. And we've seen Japanese people in the crowd before for a takeover. Asuka was in the crowd for NXT Takeover Brooklyn. And of course, we would see how she would fare against Bayley later on. We also saw Big Nadel's rumored to debut tonight. He wasn't wrestling. He didn't. I can't remember Sneak Attack, but he was in the crowd. Bobby Roode. Love to see Roode in NXT. Of course, last week he and Eric Young both left in TNA. I think Roode would do great things in NXT. You know, I know Roode. James Storm came and went. Joe was, of course, the main event tonight. And speaking of former people from TNA, former TNA superstar and former X Division champion did wrestle tonight and make his well, proper takeover debut, because I think he did wrestle on the Florida tapings, but it never aired. So it's not his official NXT debut, but his takeover debut for A-Dub, the greatest man ever lived, Austin Aries, against Baron Corbin. Now, this match was pretty good. A pretty good matchup. Corbin's getting so much better. I used to call Baron Corbin the Roman Reigns clone, but he's really stepped up and he's really improved more than Reigns. Is Roman Reigns better? Hell, he's better than Elias Sampson at this point. And I love these playing the heel a lot better. Speaking of getting heat, man, he did the posing. He talked shit to the fans, and he looked great in that ring. And I love this promo this past Wednesday, making fun of Austin Aries, comparing him to Virgil, what he would do when Austin would lose in the hands of Baron Corbin. And it was just a physical match. Aries looked good from the get-go. He looked good early on some big high-flying spots. Big moves for Aries. Then, of course, Baron came flying back with his big muscle moves. Some great grappling style. Switching attempts. Big clotheslines. Big kicks from both guys, especially Aries with the Mitchell drop kick. Big elbows as well for both men. And then, one of the best spots was on the outside. They were brawling on the outside. Aries was going for a big move. I think he got caught by Baron, who nailed him with a big slam on the outside. That was vicious, that slam on the outside. And Aries barely survived that because he got in just before the count of 10. Referee was counting. And every time the referee counted it all, you heard this. Referee counted 1. The crowd said 2. And the referee said 2, 3, 4, 5. Throughout the entire night, the fans do that. And the fans were more Aries' side in this match. They were really on Aries' side, booing Corbin. Not boo as he did in Ohio, but minimal boos. Good boos for him. Great heat for him. But so after Aries got up at that vicious slam on the outside by Mr. Corbin, Corbin would try to nail him with the end of days. But then Austin counted the end of days into a roll-up. And 1, 2, 3 victory for Austin Aries. Kind of a sudden finish there. But it was going to be interesting to see that kind of finish. Because no one's ever counted out of the end of days. As much as I would have loved, and I bet you everyone would agree with me on this, would have loved to have seen Austin Aries nail the Brain Buster. I hope he still uses it as his finisher. But if they won't let Styles clash anybody, we'll see if they let Austin Aries use the Brain Buster. Maybe this was a cop-out to letting Austin not using the Brain Buster, just let him count out the end of days. But it was kind of cool to see him count out of it. 3.8 for this match. Good match. For Corbin, better than his match against Apollo Crews. Maybe that's why he's being demoted against Elias Sampson. I think it was a co-main event, or the co-main of NXT Takeover London against Crews and Corbin. And that match did not have nothing. They had no chemistry. It was a slow match. But this was a better match. Better match for Baron in this match. Great showing from him. It's going to be interesting to see Aries win. Corbin's looking good, but I don't think this loss will hurt him. Even though he lost, it won't hurt him in the long run. Corbin is still one of the most vicious heels in NXT. And who knows? Maybe he could go up for the NXT champion one day. Because he's looking better. He's improving a lot in the microphone. Looking better and more confident in the ring. He's moving a lot better in the ring. He's really improving. Unlike Reigns, who's down. He's degraded. Now, brace yourself, people. On to the undisputed match of the night. In what some may say, early candidate for match of the year. Shinsuke Nakamura making his highly anticipated WWE/NXT debut, taking on Sami Zayn. Now, I've watched New Japan for over a year, and I'm a big fan of Nakamura. And a lot of people were anxious about him when he got signed to WWE, about what he's going to do with them. But after the night's match, holy shit. I'm big fans of both guys. And when this match was signed, a lot of people were calling it match of the night already. And guess what? It fucking delivered. It made me and a lot of people say the same damn thing. This match made me and all the people who watch wrestling proud to be a wrestling fan. This was a fucking classic. The crowd was hot. The crowd was split. It was a freaking masterpiece of a match. It was just hard hitting. It was action packed. It was full of emotion. Stiff kicks. The elbow exchange was insane. There was so many high spots in this match. And Shinsuke looked awesome. He did all the great moves we all wanted to do. Nasty kicks, nasty elbows, and of course the good vibrations in the corner. He did set it up, but then Sami Zayn countered with a move of his own. Both men looked freaking phenomenal. No, I was wiped out. Bet you everyone, not just watching like me, marked the hell out, but everyone in the arena marked the hell out. Chants like crazy. Shinsuke is gonna kill you, Nakamura. Sami Zayn was split, especially doing that elbow. Like you see the elbow from the guy here, yay, boo, yay, boo. But you heard the fans when Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami had that stiff elbow exchange that bloodied up Shinsuke's nose. They tried to go over the towels, but it was one blood cut, which I'll get to. Doing the yeah. There goes the yes. The crowd was just nuts during this match. You know, this match delivered on all we expected. You know, just a physical fight. Strong stuff. Submissions galore. You know, both guys made for various submissions in this match. With especially Nakamura going for the triangle at one point because he got some MMA experience. And this was just a classic. It was a fucking clinic. The crowd was probably wiped. This match, I bet a lot of people are going to debate that this match should have been main event over Joe and Balor, which was still a fun match in itself. There's be a lot of debate about that. But on to the ending. And the Sami Zayn nailed his big moves, trying many times at the haluva kick, even going for his Corey clutch, and even nailed the blue thunderbomb at one point in the matchup. Shinsuke just came alive with some big kicks. A lot of insecurities, man. A lot of kicks, man. How's Zayn gonna be ready for Sunday? Because he went through a freaking war. It was a war tonight against Shinsuke Nakamura. So after Zayn tried to go to the haluva kick, Shinsuke not out of it. He got out of it, went for the second rope. After getting AJ, setting up the Boom-ba-yang. He kneed his ass in the back of the head, and then he went for another Boom-ba-yang to the front of his face in 1, 2, 3. Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Sami Zayn in what will probably be Sami Zayn's final match in NXT now that he's making the transition to the main roster and one of the favorites to defeat Kevin Owens and multiple others in the ladder match. Maybe my comments about the ladder match, a lot of my wall review, and on my other videos. I wish it was one-on-one, Sami Zayn and Owens. The ladder match should be fun though, but the ladder match should have been for the U.S. Championship. Owens and Zayn should have been one-on-one. And like I said, if this is Sami Zayn's proper farewell out of NXT, this was an awesome way to go out. Even in defeat, he looked phenomenal. It was just a freaking clinic. I was like out of breath. This is the most intimate match I've ever been watching on TV since Taker and Shawn Michaels won. During WrestleMania 25, I was so into that match. I was so marking out during that match. Now I marked the hell out during this match too. My voice is kind of hoarse from that because it was just a classic. I was debating about how to rate this match. And there was only one rating that this match deserves. 5.0. If you're a regular watcher of my reviews, I rarely give a 5.0. This is only the second match, I said at the beginning of the video, only the second match I've ever given a 5.0 to. I gave Bayley and Sasha Banks' Iron Woman match by the NXT Takeover Respect a 5.0. And this match was definitely a 5 freaking star match. And I hope that Shinsuke delivers matches like these on the main roster and more importantly on NXT as well. And I hope he doesn't get injured like Hideo and Tommy. Now, that would be a match I'd love to see. If Hideo finally ever comes back, I would love to see him face up against Shinsuke. There's so many people I'd love to see Shinsuke face. Of course, Balor and Nakamura. Make it happen! Balor Nakamura needs to happen. I know they wrestled in New Japan before, but seeing these two wrestle in NXT would be a fucking classic, as this match was tonight. And after this match, Shinsuke pulled up Sami Zayn, great hand of respect, and the crowd chanted Ole for Sami, standing ovation as he left. Not only left the ring, and probably leaving an NXT ring for the final time. He was the reason I got into NXT. Watched the live stream one day during the early days of the network when I signed up during day one. Saw NXT for the first time in a live stream. Saw Sami Zayn against Cesaro. It was my very first NXT match I ever saw. And Sami Zayn, I was a fan from that point on. It got me into NXT. So thank you, Sami, for all the great moments you delivered in NXT. I cannot wait to see you break those chains in WWE and break out and become a star in the main roster and give it an opportunity and hopefully not get buried like the Ascension or Tyler Breeze. But you're in a ladder match on Sunday, so hopefully have a great breakout night, even though it should have been one-on-one with you and Owens. So there you go. I kind of felt bad for Balor and Joe, and more importantly for our next match, for the NXT Women's Championship, Bayley and Asuka, to follow that match. But if there's any two matches that could follow Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn's epic showdown, it was these two matches. And there was no long interval. They went straight to Bayley and Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship. This is probably Bayley's best match as a women's champion in a while, because with not a lot of competition now, she's had so matches with Nia Jax to take over London, Eva Marie, who's going to get booed out the building in AT&T Stadium Sunday. She should turn heel in that match. Why is she on a babyface team? I said in my one review. By why. And these match against Carmella. But when I found out Bayley was going to face Asuka, I knew it was going to be Bayley's best match as a women's champion in a while. Since Sasha, a formidable opponent, and it was. It was just a brawl. Asuka coming out with the mask, like little snowflakes. She came out with the green mist on a mask, kind of paying homage to Tajiri. And you thought Nakamura was stiff on Sami Zayn. Asuka was stiff to Bayley as well. She's delivered stiff kicks to everybody and left a wake of injured bodies. And I hope that Bayley did not get seriously injured in this match, especially when Asuka kicked the hell out of Bayley and tore up, especially with her leg, tearing up her leg, especially with an ankle lock that damaged her knee. I don't care if it's storyline or not. If she was just selling the injury, she sold it well if it was a fake injury. Even on one knee, Bayley fought her best. Crowd was on her side, though. You know, Asuka gets a good pop, but you can't help but love Bayley. Like, she's always over. You had people chanting the singing, you know, the, hey, Bayley. And I heard faintly the chant that we gave Bayley in Detroit. Oh, Bayley, you got what I need. Say just a friend. It didn't stay long, but it was still cool to hear that chant. Because we kind of started it in Detroit when Bayley wrestled Nia Jax in a house show in Detroit. And Bayley fought her best, but Asuka looked phenomenal. Stiff submission. If Samoa Joe is the Samoan submission machine, Asuka's the Japanese submission machine. Because she was just on top of Bayley. So many submission attempts with the leg, ankle lock at one point. But of course, she did not just use her hands to weapon up the submissions. Of course, she used the fucking weapon. Various fucking weapon, hip attacks. Even at one point, Bayley did block a hip attack. And it was just a great women's matchup. Great spot with the Hurricane from Bayley. Trying to fight back against the physical, violent onslaught of an offense from Asuka. With the Shining Wizard as well. And like I said, there was one time for the hip attack from Asuka. It was countered by Bayley to a German suplex, and they were just wiped out because these two were just beating the crap out of each other like Sami Zayn and Nakamura was. The crowd wasn't as hot during this match because that last match just wiped everybody out. It was kind of like Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 18. Some people thought that should have been the main event, and I was at that Mania because after that match, everyone was fucking dead after Rock and Hogan because everyone was so into that match like it was against Sami Zayn and Nakamura tonight. Like I said, these two matches did follow it up well. You know, the crowd was still hot, but not as hot as they were for Nakamura and Sami Zayn. So Asuka went for those big moves. And Bayley did, at one point, trying to go for the Bayley belly at one point. When she pulled the hair down, the hair pins. But then Asuka would counter that with some big moves of her own. Submission attempts again. And of course, the be-all end-all when Asuka went for this armor move, but then she picked up Bayley with a nasty suplex. I think Bayley took a big bump on that suplex off the mat when Bayley got rolled into the Asuka submission with Asuka's arms right around Bayley's neck, choking her out. And referee was trying to stop it. Bayley was trying to fight back in his chokehold from Asuka, but Bayley could not survive it. She passed out. And we have a new NXT Women's Champion, Asuka. And I'm a big Bayley guy like everybody else, but I had a feeling that Asuka was going to win tonight because she's the breakout women's star right now. Bayley's done an excellent job of representing the NXT Women's Division with proud honor and pride. You know, pride and honor, you know, carrying the banner even when Becky and Sasha and Charlotte went on the main roster. Bayley has waved the banner for women's wrestling in NXT. And tonight, she showed it again tonight. Showing heart and valor against a vicious competitor like Asuka. Great storytelling, great pacing with Asuka getting the victory. And I'm actually glad that Asuka got the win and Bayley did not tap out. She fought like a champion tonight. And like Sami Zayn, this could be Bayley's final match in NXT as she may be on her way as well to the main roster. There was lots of suspicion she was supposed to be in the Total Divas match. But even I said in my previous videos, if Bayley debuts, she deserves a better match to debut doing. Not doing a clusterfuck of a match like the Total Divas Team Bad match. Especially it's not even on the main card now. So I'm glad Eva Marie took that spot. You know what I mean? I hate Eva Marie, but I'm actually glad it was anybody but Bayley because I don't want Bayley to debut during that match. She deserves a bigger spotlight. Maybe she'll come to War After Mania. I expect a lot of debuts during War After Mania. Especially seeing, you know, Bayley lose tonight. And Bayley was just being checked out by the doctors. And this way she went out with Balor. Not giving up. She passed out. She didn't tap out. So, at least she didn't show weakness with tapping out. It would not be good if she tapped out. Maybe showing us a cap out, but still. Great to see her go out with a bang. If this is her last match. And losing to Asuka. I think Asuka can have good matches even though she leaves injured bodies and hope Bayley didn't get hurt too bad from the physicality from Asuka. You know, she gave Emma a big concussion. Hell, she injured Dana Brooke, who hasn't been back yet since NXT Respect. Because Asuka's stuff, Asuka's kicks and her grappling style is just unorthodox and just fucking hurts ya. Unintentionally or not. You know, I hope Asuka has some good matches with people. Now, I bet you a lot of people love seeing Eva Marie get fucking killed again by Asuka. But since Eva Marie's on main roster again now, you know, she may not deserve it. New opponents for Asuka to grapple with. Probably another match with Emma, Dana Brooke when she comes back, a few others. Now it's time to rebuild the women's division. Now the 4 horsewomen, with the last of the 4 horsewomen probably on her way to the main roster, it's time to rebuild the women's division. And we build it around the new NXT Women's Champion, Asuka. 3.8 for this match. Still a fun match, though. Bayley's best match, and probably her last match in NXT, especially as a champion. Now on to our main event. For the NXT Championship, Samoa Joe against Finn Balor 2. The London match was awesome, and this match was great. Let's get to the elephant in the room. Fuck PG. In the opening salvo of the match, Balor came out. Awesome entrance again tonight. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Hell, if Amos can handle a chainsaw, so can Finn. But the match almost got spoiled right off the bat as doing the opening salvo as Balor went straight at Joe. They butted heads and Joe got cut. And this is when the match was almost spoiled. The fucking referees came out with the gloves and the fans were not loving it. If they can let Taker and Lesnar bleed all over in Hell in a Cell, they should let Joe blood in NXT. This is not fucking War. This is NXT. And the fans let the fucking WWE have it. With Stephanie at ringside and also Linda McMahon, I think, was at ringside too. You heard the fans chanting, fuck PG. PG sucks. They would be edgy on the main show. Yet when Samoa Joe got bled, which was accidental, by the way, referees came out with the towels and the gloves. Like, fuck that, man. But despite that, it almost that spoiling the match a little bit. It kind of ruined momentum, though. Because every time Joe came, and Joe looked like a fucking beast tonight. Tossed Finn over the best spot tonight was when Joe tossed Balor over the top barricade, knocked him over the barricade, and knocked down a security guard out of his chair. That's a funny spot. I hope the security guard don't sue WWE for that. For Joe shoving, basically hovering Balor over the barricade and knocking his ass out. That was kind of a funny spot, but the momentum was kind of spoiled because every time Joe bled fucking bad. You know, every time Joe bled bad, referees would come in and slow the match down because they were just try to soften the cut. And like I said, you have the fuck PG chants, the PG sucks, and let him bleed. I agree to that. But despite the referees ruining the match and spoiling the flow and ruining the momentum of the match with, you know, the continuous stopping of the match to try to soften up and kind of soften up Joe's cut. The match itself was still fun. Spoiled a little bit by that constant annoyance. Proof on TV PG sucks with the referees having to wear gloves because there was a couple blood shots, especially with Nakamura's nose bleeding, but they didn't ruin their match. But it was because the cut was on Shinsuke's nose, but the cut was Joe's eye. I know safety reasons, but fuck PG. And the fans let him have it. But it was still a fun physical fight. It was as good of a fight as it was at NXT Takeover London. Joe looked like a freaking monster tonight. Vicious moves, vicious kicks. Many moves, many times was Muscle Buster. I think he did nail Muscle Buster at one point. And people thought it was over. But then Balor kicked out of it. And Balor, despite being pummeled again, it was like the match in London again. Joe looked really good in his match and really destroyed Balor. But despite Balor getting a vicious offensive barrage from Samoa Joe, Balor would come back with his big flying moves, sling blade a couple times, big coup de grace, standing coup de grace at one point, great transitions at one point. When Joe gives a big punches to Phantom until Balor would do a Pele kick to Joe. Crowd was into it again, even though like the constant continuing stopping in a match with Joe bleeding. It didn't get bad. Like the only half was really bad. But once Joe's cut is softened, it wasn't as bad. The match went on. You know, the crowd was still into it, even though we had like the continuing stoppage that could have spoiled the match. It kind of did, but not entirely. Kind of like the botch during the American Alpha match. It didn't hurt the match. This match, like, you know, like that match, the continuing stoppage didn't really hurt the match. It kind of did, but not exactly. It was still a fun physical matchup. Maybe not as good as the Takeover match in London, especially with the finish. Gonna be in Sutton, but I think it was an interesting way to end it. After the Pele kick exchange, both guys were down. Balor got back up. And then nailed a coup de grace on Samoa Joe. But he didn't pin him. So as Balor was trying to set up for another big move following the coup de grace, trying to set up for his new finisher, the Bloody Sunday DDT, Joe countered into the Lakita clutch. His chokehold cinched in. But then Balor went up against the ropes, turned it into a pin. 1, 2, 3. Samoa Joe loses. Finn Balor retains the NXT Championship. Kind of a sudden ending like the Austin Aries match against Corbin. Still a fun match. I'll give it a 4.0. It's a physical match. Even though, yeah, a few points were deducted over the continuous stopping in the match. Fuck PG. I'm sorry I've said the F-bomb on here a couple times, but I have to say it because the fan said it. It was still a fun physical fight. Not as good as the London match, but still a very fun one. Even with the continuing stoppage. It's going to be interesting to see Balor win and not seeing Joe win again. You know, the second time Joe's gone against Balor and lost. And with the rumors about the Bullet Club debuting Monday, with Anderson and Gallows debuting on Monday, maybe they're going to debut first, and then Balor will come later. So now that Balor's defeated Joe twice, where do we go from here? Do we get a trilogy? I think during the pre-show, Mo and Nalo said that it should be a trilogy. You know, Balor and Joe should fight again. And I think this time there should be a stipulation. I thought there would be a stipulation in this match, but there wasn't. Maybe they're going to leave the stipulation for that final match. Probably the next takeover. I think the next takeover is in May. I think it'll be back in Full Sail. Maybe an ODQ match. It's a good way to end it. If they let Balor and Joe go off the match. Or, something I mentioned earlier, maybe Balor could feud against Shinsuke and Nakamura. And have them fight for the NXT Championship. Now, that would be epic, like I said earlier on. Like, Shinsuke and Balor fighting against each other is one thing. But then fighting over the NXT Championship, I can imagine that feud. Even with Shinsuke's lack of English language, he could do around the feud against Balor, who's another New Japan storehold. You know, he's leader of Bullet Club in New Japan, who feuded against Shinsuke's clique, Chaos. I think it was in Chaos. So I think he was in that group. I think he was in a clique too, but he probably feuded against Balor in the Bullet Club when he was in the Bullet Club. As, of course, Prince Devitt. So to see these two wrestle each other again in NXT would be awesome to see. And also Shinsuke against Austin Aries would be awesome to see as well. Or Balor and Aries. You can go any direction here. Balor and Joe. Balor, Aries. But maybe Aries needs some good wins first before he gets the title match. Same with Shinsuke. Who knows what they're going to do with Balor. And who's they going to drop the belt to before his eventual move to main roster. I know he wants to stick with NXT. But with Gallows and Anderson going straight to main roster, not going through NXT like Shinsuke is, Balor could be on the main roster soon and join his fellow Bullet Club members, Gallows and Anderson, and of course, already there, AJ Styles. So, really good, really awesome takeover tonight. Not one boy match on the card. It may have outshined WrestleMania like many people expected. WrestleMania should be an okay show despite the rough build and leading up to it. It might be an okay Mania as long as Reigns doesn't win. But we might be in that predictable direction. But even if Mania sucks, we will always have NXT TakeOver to remember. Especially that one epic match tonight between Sami Zayn and debuting Shinsuke Nakamura. Oh yeah. With that in mind, that is it for my NXT TakeOver review. Once again, my rating 8.0 for this excellent takeover. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the review for Zach. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for my other reviews. I'll be making a Hall of Fame review tomorrow night. And of course, obviously a Mania review. So stay tuned for those reviews. Thank you. See you later. Yeah. Or in the world of Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah! See ya.